What's going on, sports family? It's your favorite two grown-ass men, Mike and Jamal. We're here dropping some knowledge, some bangers for you at the game of sports. Mike, good morning. Say what up to the sports family.
Sports family, what's up? Happy holiday weekend to you. We got a good one for you. Looking forward to talking you through it.
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Hey, sports family, check it out. We got some beautiful guests in the building today. Hey, sports family, let me introduce you to none other than my sister-in-law. Dro, say what up to the sports family.
What's up, sports fam?
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, we got the beautiful TiVo in the building. TiVo, say what up to the sports family.
Hey, y'all. What's going on?
Rocking that Juneteenth shirt. Liberate us.
This is the holiday we acknowledge.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, Mike, so what we talking about today?
So we brought these two guests on with us today because we're going to need some help talking through this one. Today's topic is about athletes, spouses, and significant others. And how do you feel about those spouses and significant others leveraging their status, their celebrity to build their own brand? So we're going to kick it off and let's go with Jamal. What you think about that?
Man, well, I tell you what, man. Hey, that's the game of life, right? About opportunity. And that's what all this really is about opportunity. So I asked myself, if I hooked up with, let's say, Beyonce, would I not gain some traction, some momentum with my celebrity status, which is zero? She would upgrade me. Why not take advantage of that, man? So I'm a fan of it, man. Use your powers for good. So TiVo, let me ask you, how you feel about that?
I feel like it's the household, right? So your come up is my come up. And if I have aspirations and things I want to accomplish, your paycheck gonna help me do that.
Love it. Dro, what about you?
I mean, I don't see it as an opportunity. So I'm with TiVo with what she's saying, and it's not me using you. We're building each other up. In a relationship, you're supposed to build each other up. Chances are a lot of these women or men that have seen a glow up, right, since they married this person with their status, always had whatever it is that they're going to do in mind. It's always been something they've been wanting to do and never had the opportunity, like you said, Jamal, to do so. So me being like, okay, I've always wanted to be like, for example, Ayesha Curry, okay? Ayesha Curry has done a lot of things for herself since, her stat, or I guess they've been married, I feel like, before he became famous.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like high school sweethearts, I believe. So in that situation, they've always been together. So she probably just never had the financial aspect or capability to be able to go out there, do her cookbooks, do her show. She has a whole line of cooking utensils, pots and pans and stuff like that. She just never had the money to do it. So now it was probably him that came to her and was like, listen, babe, I want you to do the damn thing. Take these funds and get your thing popping. Because she probably felt like she was being thought of as, oh, that's Steph Curry's wife. She didn't have a name. They didn't know who her name was. They didn't care what her name was. So she was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make it happen. And I am Ayesha Curry. Now people know who the fuck she is.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Mike, what you
and
think
she
about
kept having kids and building as well. Like,
oh, yeah.
That's the ultimate.
Which is a whole nother thing that a lot of women would look up to and be like, okay, damn, she did all this with having children.
Yeah.
People assume that, oh, she probably got a nanny, but you never really know, because there are some women out there in the industry that would prefer to be hands-on with their kids. Right. So
Agreed. I can't disagree with that at all, man. I something that I'll say too is just like the flip side of that is just like it's crazy too, because I think oftentimes like society and like everybody that's in their business, either like it's a catch-22. There's like, oh, okay, if you're not doing anything and you're just taking care of the kids and the family, then oh, look at her, they sorry, they don't do nothing, blah 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 blah. But then when, to your point, when they're using an opportunity, not poor choice of words, but when your spouse has the that platform that you can do something with, because I won't even lie to you, I watched the hell out of that lady. She cooked She be cooking some shit, bro. And you know what I'm saying? And also too, it's just like, it just makes me think though, like the double standard there is when it's the flip side of it. When it's the dude, and Mike, I'm not gonna steal your thunder because the ultimate come up, I'm gonna kick it over to you, dude, so you can bring that one up.
Well, it's funny, like we said, is the blowback in society when say someone does play the quiet role or whatever, and they don't put themselves out there. It's kind of this blowback of, oh, they just mooching, right? They just riding a wave. And from the flip side, I think that the one that a lot of dudes used to kind of pump their chest with and high five was K-Fed from Britney Spears. You know what I mean? Like if you think about people like, oh, he gonna K-Fed you and all that stuff, right? Because he wasn't really doing much, but he seems to be a good dad and all about the kids, and his come up seems to be
wouldn't
centered
consider him a
around
come
that
up though. Personally, I wouldn't consider him a come up. Okay. Now this is a little known fact, but I am very much so a Britney Spears fan. Okay. And in no way, shape, or form, am I biased. However, I would not consider K-Fed a come up. And that is because he became famous for the wrong reasons. It wasn't like, okay, he was a dancer. Everybody knows he was a dancer now because he was dancing for who? Britney Spears, right? Mm-hmm. But their whole breakup, them having the kids, the whole, him cheating on what the chick name was? I don't even remember her name. His other baby mama that used to be
Shar Jackson.
Shar Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Shar Jackson was with him first. Okay.
Yeah.
So that whole love triangle, him getting with Britney, having the kids with Britney, is what made him famous. Because I guarantee a lot of people do not hear that name and think, oh, good father. They're thinking, oh, that's the dude that, you know.
Right, but do you think his come up was financially though? Like, do you think his career would have brought him the financial success that he's getting from a alimony check or a child support check?
I mean, show me the numbers. Show me the facts. Because what is he doing?
That's the point. That's the point. Chill it.
How much money is Britney really breaking him off? Because I need to know. Because I still feel like he's a bum.
He bitter. Yeah. I mean, let's be real too. It was a bitter breakup. See, but you know what? Side note is that I think, man, Britney working with some, she got that good because Justin lost his damn mind. K-Fed done lost his mind. Shoot, stay away from Britney. She toxic, man.
Well, actually, I mean, I don't think that.
She's going through some things, though.
I think that the breakup was more so on her side. I don't think he really went crazy, which is why he has kids, right? I don't think throughout the entire thing, he was always level-headed. I don't think they ever had an issue with him, per se. It was always whatever the hell she was going through. I mean, I still love her, though. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Tivo, so a question for you. So do you think your perception or your vantage point changes? Let's say if you had a son that #1 rated QB in the nation, and of course, you know, girls, the media, everybody's gonna get at him. So does your perception change when it's your child? And you know, and if so, like, what do you do to help safeguard against all the leeches and the moochers?
Ooh, child. If that was my child, I mean, you just have to surround them with good people and make sure that the team has his best interests at heart. And I don't know, some things you just gotta let your child figure out for their own, but hope that you instill in them the values that will allow them to sift through the riffraff and really find somebody who's for them. But yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, mama's gonna be taken care of at the end of the day, but you definitely don't want your child in a situation where, you know, with a stripper or whomever, having 4 or 5 kids. I mean, G.A.M, but but I mean, they're grown. I mean, he got to live his life, and he's still bringing in a paycheck to support that lifestyle. So, yeah, that's a tough one.
Dro, I'm gonna ask you that same question. So, what's your stance? How you feel, and what would you do to make sure your son's good?
Well, first of all, you know, I am very open. I have open and honest conversations with my kids ever since they were born. From day one, I let them know before he could even talk. I teach him how to peep game. So if my son was, in that position, I have no worries because I've been telling him how to peep game, even if he's not in a position to where it's going to be, a bunch of women after him because of whatever potential financial aspect he might be able to get. So I'm just going to sit back and watch the show because I'm confident in the way that I've brought my son up to realize that they ain't gonna be taking care of advantage of my baby. But let's be clear though. I might be in the background, but if I need to step in, mama's gonna step in. I don't care how grown he is, because that's my baby. That's forever my baby.
Hey, yo, Mike. So
the same thing goes for my daughter. The same thing goes for her. I tell her the same.
Hell yeah. Hey, so Mike, check this out. We have a recent example, which I want you to bring back up because it highlights exactly what Audrey talked about. Is that, mom understands and recognizes that you're a grown ass man. But in the midst of the storm, when Boo Thing try to, make it about her in your situation, Mike's laughing because he know where I'm going. So I'm gonna throw that lob to you right now, Mike. I want you to slam dunk it home.
So I think what Jamal's referring to is the NFL draft where this player was his, call it 2 minutes of fame, where his name got called, his family is all around, and he's getting a phone call from the team, and his girlfriend, we're calling her his girlfriend because honestly I don't know her status. I didn't see a ring on her hand. I don't think they were married. So I believe it was his girlfriend needed to try to find a way to get close to him and show her support and hug on him and everything. But it was during that kind of critical 30 seconds of, hey, his name is getting called and this is what he worked for. And mom swooped in and was like, no, baby, we're not doing this right now. And she tried to give her the church usher where they kind of put their hand behind your back and
but she wasn't moving fast enough.
But she wasn't moving fast enough. So she went from church usher to club bouncer. And basically picked the chick up all, moved her out the way or whatnot. So
but she got up though.
She got up and she
didn't have a choice.
She ain't talk back either.
See, and you know what, and that's the time, like one of the things though too, when you talk about, how protective you are of your kids, I think is just that human nature. And it's part of some of the safeguards that you want to take place. One of the things that we talked about, not trying to single out this particular individual because you're right, we don't know what the status is, and clearly he wanted her there, she was there. But something that I noticed that and I said during the draft was that why is it that the girls they have to be dressed up like they were going to, like it was their event, like it was the club, wearing the most revealing things and the shortest, blouses and skirts and all that. And, and it's almost like by design without any type of, direction from that person individually, they're going to get the spotlight on them because clearly they're an attractive person. They, the cameras are on their man, but it's also on them too. So instantly, like if you went to Twitter or Instagram or any social media outlet, they were chiming in about the girl. And so it just made it funny because it's like, damn, I thought homeboy got drafted and she got drafted too that night.
But I don't remember. I mean, I remember seeing the video and I don't remember her looking attractive. I think she only got the spotlight because the mama yoked her ass up. That is why they were talking about her.
Now, it was a couple
not because
of them
she was
too.
cute.
They were in coordination. There was a couple of them too, because I mean,
was a movement this year.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely a movement this year.
Yeah, I mean, and that was from what I was told, inside source told me, just mama was just making sure that she was practicing social distancing. So thus the
get out of here. So, that was a good save though. That was a good save.
But check it out. So TiVo, I want to throw you this lob because the question I want to know answers to is this. So do you believe the double standards exist when the shoe is on the other foot? So meaning that if it's a female superstar, athlete, actress or anything, that the man is, for lack of better words, nobody knows them. Do you feel like it's a double standard when the shoe is on the other foot?
I think so. I mean, when you look at like, I think what Mariah Carey is dating one of her dancers right now, and there's some other situations where it's kind of the male is just in the background. But if the woman is the one that is in control, making her money, who's in her bedroom or who she's, entertaining, that's on her. But I do think that men are looked at differently as kind of benefiting more so than if the shoe is on the other foot. Because the man should be taking care of the household. I mean, I think it's kind of the role standard, right, of the men bringing in the income and the man taking care of the household. So I think that's where it may stem from too.
Man, let me tell you something. I have no shame in my game at all. I'll be around there like Babyface. I'll cook your dinner too, baby. So you ain't. And I can't say as soon as I get home from work, it's like you ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. So all I'm saying, I agree with you. There's a double standard, but from my point of view too, is that men, like, we high fiving and we be like, dog, did you hear Stedman just Oprah? Man, we high fiving each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just it's crazy too, because if the relationship don't work out either, we still get high fived and all that, and we're put on this throne like he made the biggest financial come up or whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, what you think about the double standards? Because I know you got something juicy to say about
it. I mean, there definitely is a double standard. I can't really think of, where the man actually, like, I would consider it an actual come up. Stedman, okay. I mean, we only know Stedman because he ain't married Oprah. Like, what did he do before her? We don't even know. Nobody knows. And I don't even know if anybody cares. And I don't even know if anybody cares what he's doing right now. It's just that, okay, we know you because you didn't marry Oprah. Okay, Mariah Carey's little boo thing. We know you because you're a nobody and you're dating her, but you're still in the background. Like, the only couple I can think of that got together and came up together is Beyonce and Jay-Z. Because Jay-Z had a name for himself beforehand. Beyonce had a name for herself beforehand. But, I mean, give me an example of a man that actually came up being with a woman. Like, even Mary J. Blige, the dude that she was married with and got divorced from. We only knew him when they were married. Once they were divorced, nobody knows him. But he's supposedly, a top executive in the music industry. But
I got one.
Okay.
Oh.
Candy and Todd.
Oh shit. That's a good one.
I mean, I don't feel like Todd came up. Did he?
Like, he's opening businesses and stuff. And people, like, he was behind the camera. Now they got their spinoffs and all that.
Okay.
I'm Todd, fool.
Okay, yeah, because we definitely didn't know who he was when he was behind the cameras.
He might as well have a peach.
But see. Well, see, Momma Joyce now, and I by no means do I think that their love is not real, because I think that we would be able to see if it wasn't genuine, and I don't get the non-genuine vibes, but he's definitely, in the last season, opening all these restaurants all of a sudden with all her money, to the point where Candy was kind of like, we can't be opening all these things or doing all these things without like finishing one thing. That I feel like she kind of, in a sense, was like, well, damn, just take all my money. Because she said that his net worth was, I think when they before they got together, was like in the hundreds.
Mm-hmm.
So which, I mean, to a normal person, I mean, yeah, okay, it could mean $500,000 or whatever, which is a lot for somebody that hasn't seen the millions, right? But hers was way more than that. So I guess, yeah, he came up. But I think it's difficult because I feel like most of these women that are in high places are what's considered an alpha female. And if you're an alpha female, it's going to be hard to let a man in and try to be that alpha male when he did not bring the same to the table that you're bringing to the table, which is probably why a lot of those men stay in the background. Because he definitely still is. I mean, yeah, his face is out there, but he's not riding her coattails, but he's still just her husband. Like,
yeah, right, true. Yeah.
I mean, he's in a spinoff, but he didn't get his own. It's with her.
Yeah.
So
you brought up a good point though too, because I mean, I think oftentimes society kind of sees it as okay, either or came up. Like, you know, the woman either came up, the man came up, but why can't we take the viewpoint of saying, hey, look, you know, she taught him something, and you know, she taught him about game, you know what I'm saying, and through those teachings, he was able to you know, move some things in the right direction with her help and also her financial help. And you know, oftentimes that we don't talk about, you know, the good that comes out of it, because like, to me, I got examples of some positives where you can say, wow, you know, to you know, separately, these people were good and they were doing the damn thing, but they are forced to be reckoned with when they're together. So like, when you take the perfect example is Jay-Z and Beyonce, and you look at all the things that they're doing, like a power couple, and let's be real, you know, the male ego drives a lot of things, you know, probably in the gutter. It does drive some things in a good direction too, but you know, I think oftentimes as society, we're just so concerned with the smut TV. Like, we want to see somebody fail. We want to see somebody in some juicy gossip type stuff. And then you see, like, with Jay-Z and Beyonce, like the things that now, like, when in comparison, the question now is who makes the most money? Is it Beyonce or Jay-Z? And it's just like, damn, they married. It's all, like you said,
it's all in one pot.
You know what I'm saying? Her money is his money. His money is her money. But Mike, I want to throw this one to you, man. So when you think about like a power couple, and again, using whether it's, you know, Tom Brady and Giselle, do you feel like society wants to see somebody fall off that pedestal or fall off their high horse or whatever the case is?
I mean, I think society tries to drum up interest, right? And so if things are going too good, but it's too boring, they try to pit you against each other, like you said, of who's making more money in the specific household, right? And so they'll try to kind of pry that bond apart. Um, for me personally, I look at it as if this is a married couple, the reason why you got married was because you said it's going to be me and you against the world. So you trying to build your empire together. So I don't care how much you bring or how much I bring, but we trying to build this empire together. And so I don't even look at it as a come up once somebody is married. Like, that is just what their game plan is, to maximize their household. For me, on this whole topic, it's kind of that when you're not married and you're kind of boyfriend and girlfriend situation, how much should you allow that person, how much latitude do you give that person to use your celebrity to build their own brand? Because if we just dating, you can't be doing that. I'm sorry. If we dating and you trying to, because it looks like you trying to build your come up off of us just dating. So if we just dating, you need to be trying to get to know me. You need to be supportive of me. I'm gonna be supportive of you or whatnot. But let's not try to build this, you know, brand that like that when we just dating. Because I don't know if you're gonna be here next season. You know what I'm saying?
Probably why. I mean, that's probably why a lot of people, I mean, celebrities date celebrities, because if you're not at celebrity status or you don't have a name for yourself and you're coming in, what's my guarantee that you're not doing it for the wrong reason?
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, a lot of people don't. I mean, there are a lot of people that I've just noticed, and I don't know if it's a trend. I don't know what it is, that get married and have separate bank accounts. And I'm not trying to take this conversation to a whole nother level, but there's levels, right? So when you're married and your money is one and you're supposed to be one, then how can you have separate bank accounts? Or how can you have a prenuptial agreement? Because then to me, that's like, okay, then we don't have the same money. So then where's the playing field then?
And to your point, a lot of people, I think, try to guard themselves for that with prenups and things like that, to say, okay, if you really love me, then you good with whatever you came with when you got here, and that's what you'll leave with or whatever. And if you love me, you'll stick around and we'll make this work and you'll have a great life, but there won't be a come up if you bounce. You know what I mean?
But then y'all get together and you come up together and you build a brand and you're like, well, damn, I'm just gonna leave for what I came with. Then it's a whole nother situation.
Right.
When
you gotta add that clause in the prenup.
When you go into, I feel like when you go into a marriage making those stipulations of what if we get divorced, what if this happens, then you're already setting yourself up for failure. And that's just what I think. That's the basis of my entire marriage, is we together, we want, period. There are no stipulations to this thing.
Yeah, and it's tough, right? Because from an emotional standpoint, I totally agree with that. But when you start talking like running a business, from a legal standpoint, you have to mitigate your risk, and you got lawyers in your ear saying, "Hey, I know you love her, but you're paying me to mitigate your risk. This is what you need to do," right? And so it's hard to balance that business, running your business and your brand versus the emotional part of the love, and that this is the one, and this is the one I want to spend the rest of my life with. Because I'm sure we all have about 2 or 3 people we thought we was gonna spend the rest of our lives with, and they ain't even, they not even in our contact list anymore. So, so you think about those people, they probably got even more than that.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, yeah, that's true. Question for you, TiVo. I'm gonna kick this one over to you. So when you think about something, I'm gonna start from the foundational love from day one, where you got the whip, and your man's like, "Sweetheart, babe, hey, I need to go, to such and such. Let me borrow the whip." And you talk about from like high school all the way up to when what I'm saying, whoever, I'm gonna say Michael made it. He's a first round draft pick, number 1 overall selection. And now all of a sudden, do you think that persona, that attitude, changes about now, hey, look, I'm the man, and they forget about, hey, look, you know what, I was driving your whip back in high school. How do you handle that, like, as a woman, knowing that, hey, look, where your man's gonna be? How do you handle that financially and emotionally? Wrap your mind around that.
When you start, you were there from the beginning, and then they kind of blow up. That would be, I don't know. Like, I feel like you all should have that foundation of understanding, but there have been a lot of situations where that person was there building, and then as soon as they got hot, then they run to, I don't want to say Becky, but I mean, it's just whatever else. I think that would be a horrible feeling of if you helped in that growing process and then they throw you to the side, for sure. Because you don't have a prenup or anything to kind of get compensated for the work that you did, right?
Yeah, see, and Dro, the reason why I wanted to bring that up and start with TiVo kind of speaks to, the opposite of what you just said, earlier. When you have that foundational love from the start. Yeah, Michael didn't have anything, and y'all were tight like this. And now that Michael has this celebrity status, he's a millionaire, multi-millionaire. He's on the cover of EA Sports video games and all that. And now all of a sudden you feel like, okay, I'm kind of left in the cold when, boy, please, I remember you didn't even have a whip. Boy, I used to have to give you lunch money. So how do you handle that transition? What would you do to ensure that you're not left in the cold?
In the corporate arena, it would be called job security. So,
I like that.
If we're married and I see the come up is coming, and I see that I'm not being a part of that come up, then I'm going to have to take some job security, okay? Especially if there ain't no prenup. So, it really is, ain't no prenup. So, ain't nothing to say. You go up, we go up, you want to leave me, I'm taking half.
Have Eddie.
50%. 50%. Okay, that's what I'm taking. Now, I think the situation with Dwayne Wade and his ex-wife, I think that attributed to a lot of her acting out. And I say it's acting out because she was a woman scorned, because she probably felt that exact way. And I don't know what the stipulations were of their divorce. I mean, because I haven't really researched it, but I would think that she probably didn't feel as though she got what she deserved when he decided to leave her for Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
And whoever else he was finagling with. But that's another story.
That's why, baby, he still ain't claiming.
Whoa.
So,
stay on topic, y'all. Let's stay on topic now.
It was a break. Break, baby.
but baby, you have to have your ducks in a row, and you got to get that job security. If you see something going to the left, especially if there's no prenup, because you would know my name. That's all I gotta say.
You know what?
And I gotta say, I agree with on that one. I mean, if you didn't protect yourself as an entity and get some type of legal job, security, you're gonna have to take steps to do that. I also too believe in karma, and I believe if you roll with somebody from day one and they was with you, they always had your back. You never had to question anything with them, and then now that you blow up, you kind of kick them to the side and get like a new crew or a new lady or a new boo or whatever. What you ask for is what you're gonna get, and so that loyalty comes from over time, and the new crew, maybe that loyalty comes with money. As soon as that money's gone, you're gonna feel it. So while personally I'm the type of person I like to be the one to give you that karma, I might have to be good with sitting back and seeing someone else deliver that karma to you, but I truly believe that ultimately, that person will never have peace, because every relationship or every interaction they're going to have after you, they're going to be questioning those people's intentions, where they never had to question that with you. So they'll be living like a prisoner for, their lives to go forward. And you can sit back and take a little bit of pleasure when you see that karma hit their